It's a year since my YouTube channel, and it being my first anniversary, I thought let me put a video out. I know the first year has been a bit erratic. Living in a new place for the past 6 months has been a little challenging for me. But I will tell you, I have not sat quiet. I have learned, I have worked, and I have developed myself. And so I want to ask you, with the first year of the pandemic ending and us going into the second year of the pandemic, and this is going to go on for another year, I'm sure, I want to ask you, how are you going to use this year? Are you going to use this year like you thought you would use the year without the pandemic? Well, we are living in a new normal, and the sooner you and I get used to it, the sooner you and I can carry on with life. If you ask me, what have you done, teacher grandma, with this year that was given to you? I will tell you, I've done plenty. What do you mean by plenty? Well, I've done many courses. I've learned a lot of new things. I have gotten myself a new job. I have taught 10 courses to people, completed them all. I am writing my own courses. I'm writing a curriculum. Also, I have, since I'm staying in Goa, always wanted to have flowers in my garden. Always wanted to have a vegetable patch. And these 6 months I have enjoyed making my garden. And my next video is going to be about what I've done in my garden. And I've also done my vegetable patch up. It may not be very good just now because the storm came and the storm dropped a couple of branches and spoiled a few things. But you know, life goes on and nothing is going to stop me from continuing to do what I love to do. What have you done? Have you grown yourself? Have you learned something new? Have you pushed yourself to be better? Another thing that I decided to try is to drop a few kilos. And so, at one of the courses that I was teaching, there was this topic of intermittent fasting that came up. And besides intermittent fasting, something about exercise. Now, one of the people in the group had shared a video on exercise. And so I thought, with this intermittent fasting that we are teaching in our class, it is not fair for me to teach if I haven't tried. And so I took up the challenge of doing intermittent fasting. And mind you, I'm not a person who fasts. I fast on Good Friday and Ash Wednesday because it's required by the church. I'm not proud about it. But I always had this mindset that fasting was not something that I could handle. And so I struggle with fasting. And here is me trying to take up the challenge of taking up intermittent fasting. And so I knew that my mindset needed to be changed. I looked at myself in the mirror for 4 or 5 days, 3-4 times a day when I was all by myself in the room. And I told myself, if everyone else can do it, so can you. I think saying this so many times to myself made me accept and believe it. And I believe that it is nothing but psyching your mind into believing that you can do it, that you do it. When I started off, of course, my husband was with a smirk on his face, not thinking that I would go beyond a day or 2. I started off with 14 hours of fasting. Now, mind you, intermittent fasting is fasting for 16 hours of the day and eating for 8 hours. I have this mindset that I don't want to diet. I would like to eat everything that I normally eat. I don't want to be one of those people that go into a diet. And so day one, that is on the 18th of March, I remember starting this, and I successfully did 14 hours. I was proud of myself, knowing that if I could do 14, I would push myself to 15 and 16. To assist myself, I did do one thing. I formed a group of intermittent fasters, and we encouraged and goaded each other on. In 2 months of doing intermittent, and I started exercise. Now I must tell you my story about exercising. I was a person who was not exercising because with the pandemic, all I was doing was walking from my bedroom to my hall and my hall back to my bedroom. And I thought, I can't do it. There's no space. That's the problem. But with the video that was sent on our group, one person shared this video called Walking with Leslie Sansone. I said, let me try. And it was for beginners. It was only 15 minutes. I thought if I can't do 15 minutes, I'll do as many minutes as I can. Now, because I was a whole 105 kilos, difficult to move. And so I took my phone into the washroom. I opened the shower and I put Leslie Sansone and I did the movements that were taught in the video. I realized that it was not difficult to start. I started on day one with just 3 minutes. I mean, how long can you be in a bathroom having a shower? So after 3 minutes, I switched it off and I thought, this I can do, and I will do it when nobody's around. So, come day 2, Leslie Sansone on my laptop, me alone in the afternoon in my hall, walking with Leslie. I will tell you, with intermittent and my exercise combined, in 2 months, 18th of March to 18th of May, I lost 15 kilos. I am proud of it. I am happy that I have been able to do it. I took a break in between, but it's not good to take a break when it comes to exercise. I've started again yesterday, and I hope to drop a few more kgs. I will tell you that while I have intermittent fasted, I have also exercised in the last 1 hour of my intermittent. So what happens with intermittent is the body feeds on the fat that has been accumulated, and during the last 1 hour, you got to keep yourself occupied, because if you don't keep yourself occupied, you will want to go and get yourself something to eat. So I decided my last 1 hour I will exercise. I think that exercising in the last 1 hour has boosted up the drop of kgs. And so I tell you, it's important that you exercise. Yesterday I read an article that was shared on our group about exercise, and normally I don't read forwards. But because it was exercise and because Teacher Grandma has started to exercise, I read it. And one thing shocked me in that article, and that was that if you don't exercise and use your limbs, you lose capacity of your limbs. And so I say, get up and walk. Don't walk alone, walk with Leslie. If you feel that you require somebody to energize you, to motivate you, join a group of exercisers. So we have groups of people that exercise together. We motivate each other by putting up on our group what we have been able to do for the day. And so with this, it has developed and improved my health. Are you looking after yourself? Or are you sitting down feeling sorry for yourself? Oh, the pandemic. Oh, the vaccination. Oh, the shops are closed. Oh, what is the government doing? What is your focus? I say, don't focus on the things that don't build you. Don't focus on the things that don't go well in the world. Focus on yourself, because you can be your own motivator. If you tell yourself, oh, I can't do intermittent fasting, then you be very, very sure you will not. But if you tell yourself, look here, girl, if everybody else has tried intermittent and has been successful, why can't you? You say that to yourself 3-4 times a day for 3-4 days, and you will find yourself starting to intermittent fast. Do the same thing for your exercise. Make yourself your priority. Make yourself happy. I'm teaching courses that focus on positive psychology. I very often share it on my WhatsApp and on my Facebook statuses. This is a course that focuses on helping you develop yourself and the skills that a person would need to be a good counselor. Call the number and join us. I'm happy with 1 year being on YouTube. I have 766 of you that believe in me. Some of you subscribed and unsubscribed because of my videos not being regular. I have made a promise to myself that I will put out 1 video every week because you are important. In the comments, do put what you have done to improve yourself during the pandemic. And even if you haven't done anything, today is the day to start. Tell me what you promised yourself. Tell me what your plans are. And we can motivate each other to find the happy me. This is Teacher Grandma, a teacher for 35 years. A grandmother of 2 pretty little girls. Saying bye-bye. I will see you next Friday. Adios.